Echoes resonate like sound waves rippling through the air, while nightmares haunt us with their chilling presence. But when you combine the two, what do you get? You get an upgrade, you get an upgrade, you get an upgrade. Every resonator gets an upgrade. Kuro Games has truly delivered, taking the Echo gearing system in the right direction. Echoes that transformed were just clunky and they just always fell out of place, while these quick swap echoes are where it's at. And they introduce a lineup of brand new ones that really raises the bar. Nightmare Echoes are brand new echoes that you will need to farm, and some of them even have different sets. With 7 new Nightmare Echoes, these instantly become the best in slot for any resonator that is able to use them. So let's dive in. Quick side note, these Nightmare passive echoes actually just buff the character by being equipped. You don't even need to activate their skills, and that by itself is a massive game changer. But a better question is, where do we get these echoes? A quick tip before you start to get these echoes: first, go to your databank, then go to the Sonata effects. Under the sets that you want, track the unknown entry, then teleport to the area where it's located. Once there, open up your map, click at the top left, and you will see the current map that you're on. You'll also see these locked entries. Well, that is the Nightmare Echo that you need to unlock. Most of them you need to complete all of the Dream Patrols to actually unlock it, which are 4 to 5 challenges, and they're pretty easy to get done. If you know what you're doing, just make sure to actually complete the challenges because you do need to clear the whole thing. Once you complete those challenges, you'll be able to fight and farm that Nightmare Echo. It's a bit of a process, but once you unlock it, you won't actually need to do it again. Just think of it as an exploration task and enjoy doing it. Now then, let's talk about these Nightmare Echoes. Now, remember how I had a couple of meltdowns over... Don't you dare use using that echo is a crime, and stick to the Tempest Mephis. The buff might be a willing bait, but the motion value behind that echo makes you wonder if you were the one hit. Just pretend the Thundering Mephis doesn't even exist. It's abysmal, and by the time you're done activating its effect...
Put these foolish ambitions to rest.
Well, the Thunder Mephis, old buddy, old pal, I'd like to beg for your forgiveness because your Nightmare version is a masterpiece. This quick swappable echo has just one attack and it passively buffs liberation damage and electro damage, making it an essential upgrade for characters like Shen Liao, Cal Potato, and any other electro DPS focused on liberation damage. With these changes, they just make your rotation way smoother and you can actually weave in the echo with ease. It's an amazing change and I am very excited to start using this echo on Shen Liao and Calamari. It's such a liberating experience to see that Shen Liao and Calapupu have been liberated from actually being forced to use the awful Thundering Mephis, and now their liberation can be buffed without being shackled by the unliberating Thundering Mephis. Man, this is the liberation that I've been hoping for since the game's launch. Next, we have the Thundering Mephis' sibling, Tempest Mephis, and this Nightmare mode is spectacular, if not for the PTSD it induces. You remember that, one-hit KO attack that the hologram bosses always use on you? Well, prepare to see it over and over again because this new echo slaps, or cuts, or whatever the hell this is. You can instantly quick swap of this echo, which makes it amazing. The only downside is that it does take a while to cast, so you may not be able to return to your character while it's being used, but you can easily play around it. This new echo is for the Void Thunder set, for electro characters who specialize in resonant skill and electro damage. It buffs both of those, Yinlin, and also for the new set that specializes in coordinated attacks, Epherian Anthem. This is now Yinlin's best echo if you're using the electro set, and competes with the other best option if you're using the Anthem set. Now what's better than buffing one fusion character? Buffing all of them. The new quick swappable Inferno Rider is crazy. It still has the utility of a motorcycle, and the added bonus is that it simply hops into the air and does a boatload of damage. This also increases fusion damage and resonant skill damage with Chun-Li and Chixia. They could easily use this set. In addition, Encore can even take advantage of this because she uses her resonant skill often enough in her kick. Spicy, hot stuff. Now, my absolute favorite echo hands down. So amazing in fact that I will pronounce its correct name. White Myth Wukong. The monkey is fucking nuts. Firstly, it's summonable. Secondly, you get off-field pulsating aerial damage from the totem, and it even buffs aerial and heavy attacks just by being equipped. This is perfect for Gion and at DPS Junction. Gotta be the best one here, right? Well, yes, because the next one is a little disappointing. Crownless can't stop catching L's because his echo is just very lackluster in the Nightmare version. I suppose he's called the Crownless for a reason because he was never the king in the echo space anyways. It's weird to use because it doesn't really help with the flow of combat. It has 5 charges for some mysterious reason, and overall, it's just clunky. So what changed? Nothing, I guess, because it was always clunky. That would be very disgusting, if not for this effect here. He buffs havoc damage and basic attack damage simply by existing, so it's an echo that you won't really use too much, or you could weave it in at the end of the rotation, but it still has its advantages thanks to the fact that you can just equip it and get the buffs. Now, we have the Morning Aix, and it's important to know that this is not the original Spectro set, but a new Spectro set. Eternal Radiance. This set is going to be a massive buff to Frazzle damage, and that's what this echo does. In case you don't know what Spectro Frazzle is, I didn't either until actually researching this video, it's Spectro Rover's debuff that will have an actual dot on the enemy, and also the Morning Aix's original boss was actually able to do it as well. Other than that, it does give a passive 12% Spectro damage buff, which is also amazing. The only character who can use this now is Spectro Rover, but a future character may come who specializes in the Spectro Frazzle dot for Spectro damage, so be on the lookout for that. Last, but certainly not least, is the Empyrean Heron, who passively buffs Havoc damage and the Resonant skill damage. It's also very important to note that this is only for the Midnight Veil set, which will buff the incoming Resonator's Havoc damage, and it will also bring off a big nuke once you actually trigger an outro, so it's more of a specialized set. I love the animation for this, and you can actually use it on Dungeon, or you might even be able to make a Mono Havoc team with Havoc Rover and the next Havoc Healer, if we ever get one. For now, Tauchi is kind of just sitting there, possibly able to use it. The introduction of Nightmare Echoes is easily one of the best upgrades for Wuthering Waves to date. The passive stat bonus and versatility of these echoes is amazing and incredible. With Renacida on the horizon, combat flow is going to be much better. It's going to feel better, and I can't wait to dive in and unlock all of these fantastic echoes. It makes you wonder if they're just going to basically revamp echoes by adding in nightmare echoes. I really hope that we're able to actually just convert our existing echoes into the nightmare echo, and then we'll actually be able to always convert them back if we need to, although why in the hell would you convert back when you have these amazing echo skills? This is the step that we really needed to make our rotation smooth, and you'll finally have a use for these echoes. And either way, even if you forget to use it or don't use it, you're always getting that buff from the physical echo, rather than just having to use the skill and only get it for like half the time. This is the direction that we should have always gone with echoes, and I'm just excited to see what else Wuthering Waves is going to do to make the combat and gameplay more smooth for us. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out this video here if you want to actually see what the Sonata effects do for these characters. Until next time, Enigma out.